This is Kelly with Dealership News, dealershipnews.com. I'm with Aaron Hershey of JD Byrider in Cleveland, Ohio, my old stomping grounds. Aaron went to Ohio State, which is where I went to college as well, so we do have a lot in common. Let's get the conversation rolling. How are you, Aaron?
I'm great, Kelly. How are you?
Really, really good. Thanks. Hey, I got to ask you because sometimes people fall into certain kinds of occupations and they didn't expect to be there forever. It was going to be a temporary thing. And I was really curious as to what drove you into the used car business to begin with. And what did you do beforehand? I'm trying to understand what your overall path to success was.
It's actually kind of a funny story. I never did think I would end up here. It actually started in college. I had a roommate whose uncle was a Chevy dealer and came back from summer break back to Columbus, Ohio. And he's telling me about all the money he was making over the summer selling cars. And so I jumped in there. He let me work part-time kind of whenever I wanted to go in there. And the first sale I ever made in the business was a conversion van. It paid me a ton of money. And I was hooked ever since.
Yeah, I'm a little tied in there with the Elks, the Elk Chrysler Plymouth guys. Scotty Elk's a good friend of mine, and Barry Greenfield over at Metro Toyota. Barry lived behind me for several years, and we went to the same high school together. So
Okay.
it's kind of a small world. Yeah, it's interesting how you fall into it and you stay into it, and it's been a great industry for you. Got a question.
Absolutely.
Got a question for you in regards to such phenomenal customer review scores. It's no secret that car salesmen and politicians have some credibility issues, historically speaking, yet you guys have been able to add a big measure of business integrity to an industry that really needs more like you. How do you do it? Is it a software you set up, or are you guys just that good?
Well, there's definitely software involved. But the easy answer is, we ask for reviews. We ask for them all the time. We ask for them at the time of sale. We ask for them every time we close out a service repair order. But yes, there is a software we use. It's called Podium. So that every time we make a sale, every time we close a repair order, our customer automatically gets a text message or an email driving them to Google or Facebook asking them for those reviews.
Yeah. Podium, I think, has 4,000 dealerships. They do a great job. They're phenomenal.
They do.
How do you guys give back to the community? Are there any fun promotions that you've come up with that resonate within the community? Is there a special sauce, something that you guys do to just to make things a little bit more congenial, a little bit more fun, and a little bit more visible?
As far as giving back to the community, we do the standard sponsorships for some local sports teams and things like that. But as far as really resonating something within the community, I think that comes more from promoting like within our actual customer base. Doing things to take care of your customer really gets them talking about you in the community. So it's the things like our $5 oil changes that we do for all of our customers, or that free or extremely reduced price service we do over and above the warranty that we offer on our cars that really gets people talking in a positive light about us.
What kind of warranties do you offer?
We put a pretty comprehensive warranty on all of our cars. It's a 2-year, 24,000-mile warranty. I'd call it a powertrain warranty, but we go over and above. We cover the batteries, the starters, the alternators, spark plugs, and wires. So we do, go a long way to make sure our customers are staying on the road.
Yeah, that's fairly comprehensive. How are you guys set up for a wave of bad credit car buyers? I know you guys are that's what your specialty is basically, and because they're going to be hit especially hard as the Feds increase interest rates on loans to that subprime sector.
Well, I got to tell you, I can't wait. I'm really excited and optimistic about this year and, maybe the years to come. The last couple of years were a little lean for us. We saw a decrease in our customer base. So our overall portfolio was slightly higher risk than we were used to. Mm-hmm. Those open credit markets were allowing those traditional subprime lenders and captive finance companies to take huge risks. So as our customer base is returning, we're just making sure that we're properly staffed, we're capitalized, we're keeping our inventory sources open, and, we're ready to rock and roll this year.
Sounds great. Got a question for you as far as advertising and marketing is concerned. What are you doing to be able to capture that customer?
We do a lot of brand-related advertising. JD Byrider being a national franchise, they do give us a lot of quality creative. things that we can use. We're on the TV. We do a lot of digital marketing, try to build up our Facebook presence. We do the pay-per-click advertising. We just, keep sinking money at what works and keep experimenting.
Which brings to mind which automotive vendors float your boat, guys that you could bank on to provide either great service, leads, or even parts. Who do you work with, and who impresses you, other than Podium, obviously? Who are some of the other standouts?
Yeah, Podium was a good one. We have a reinsurance company, so I really love American Risk Services. They've really helped us to, curb the loss of customers totaling cars without insurance. Mm-hmm. So that's been big for us. Also, as far as lowering our risk or helping us recover vehicles when that becomes necessary, we do use GPS on all of our vehicles. We use Sky Patrol GPS. We've had good success with them. As far as back in service, we save a ton of money using used parts. We like LKQ for sourcing used parts. And a newer company, Car Keys Express. They're pretty national now. They got vans that come right here. They cut us keys, remotes. They can program anything. And they're actually a lot cheaper than our traditional locksmiths have been in the past.
Got a question for you in regards to staffing up and increasing your overall staff. How does the legalization or decriminalization of marijuana affect your hiring practice in Ohio, as it's becoming somewhat of an issue in the other states? We interviewed the fella from Street Smart Auto Brokers, and they won the used car dealer of the year, and he says that there's not a lot you could do. Obviously, if it impedes their performance, that's one thing, but because it's not illegal, at least in Colorado, we know now here in California, it's something you got to keep an eye on, but it's being treated differently than in previous years. How do you guys approach that?
Well, we really haven't given it too much thought yet, as the legalization really hasn't come here. Mm-hmm. We know as we get closer to that reality, we're going to have to communicate with, our legal team and our insurance companies about some best practices. The things that make you nervous, especially, are when you have a lot of people who are driving company vehicles. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely something that we have on the radar screen, as that becomes a reality over here.
Now, here's the last question, and it's one I love asking because you've been in the business, obviously, for quite some time, and you see trends, you see things changing, and I think changing for the better. But as the automotive industry steams ahead into an age where the not-so-modern combustion engine becomes obsolete, which technologies, the EVs, the FCVs, the PHEVs, do you think will catch on, and what effect do you think it's going to have on the used car industry when everybody wants to get a vehicle that has LiDAR and radar, plugs into the wall, and then we've got this huge inventory of gas burners? Where do you think we're going with that?
Well, I got to tell you, technology in general is a pretty intimidating thing for us as used car dealers, especially dealers that are relying on their own service departments. As more and more cars are coming standard with more and more computerized components, it gets difficult to stay on top of the training, tools, resources that are necessary to keep these cars on the road. I think the electric vehicle market is going to continue to grow, and as these vehicles trickle down, it's going to get interesting. The buying and selling them is not going to be the problem. It's going to be, do you have the people on site who are going to be able to, keep these cars on the road?
Yeah, I understand that there's a lot of new training that's going to have to take, that people are going to have to be concerned with in regards to computerization, becoming aware of LiDAR and radar. It's really going to be quite comprehensive, and of course, I think there's probably going to be a huge need for those people. But Aaron, listen, it's been great. I really appreciate you coming on board. It's a short podcast that we do. We try to ask some of the more pertinent questions, and we appreciate you participating. Wish you all the luck in the world, and enjoy the Super Bowl.
All right. Thanks, Kelly. It's been a pleasure.
Take care, and bye-bye.